May is Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. We know that riding at times can be very dangerous, especially since they are harder to see on the road. Now, last year there were close to 2,000 motorcycle crashes in Houston. Of those crashes, 115 people died and 497 were seriously injured. This is all according to TxDOT. But now we're learning how drivers can help stop this rising trend. Joining me this morning to discuss safety is Texas Law Enforcement Liaison Katie Alexander. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for thanks for coming in.
Yes.
So I know today is a very, very important topic because we know that it's Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. Tell me a little bit about why this month is so significant.
Well, it's very significant because in the state of Texas, we lose so many people on our roadway. When it comes to motorcycles, we, close to 600 last year. And unfortunately, almost 2,500 more were injured on the roadway. And so, we just want to remind everybody to, be careful on the roadway. Our campaign is Share the Road, Look Twice for Motorcycles, mainly because people just don't see them. And so we encourage you to look left, look right again, look left, look right, look left again. Just make sure that there's not one coming your way.
And what are some of the biggest concerns when it comes to motorcycles on the roads?
Intersections. Intersections are a big problem, and this is again why we say, look twice for those motorcycles. When it comes to our intersections, 1 in 3 of our fatalities are actually occurring in intersections when it comes to motorcycles. And so, again, it's devastating. It's tragedies, and they can all be avoided.
And what are some of the guidelines that people can keep in mind when they're operating a motorcycle?
Well, of course, number one thing, wear your helmet. We encourage people to wear the helmet. When it comes to cars being behind motorcycles, the most important thing is give them space because anything can actually cause a motorcycle to go down. And when that motorcycle goes down, if you're too close, obviously you're going to hit them and run over them. And that's obviously something that we want to avoid.
And what about drivers?
Well, drivers, be careful on the roadway. Pay attention. That's the most important thing, is just paying attention to the roadway. You changing your radio station, it takes time away. I was talking to a friend of mine last night, a retired commander from Harris County, and she was sharing with me about her brother who lost his life in a crash. She spent the majority of her career in traffic safety, and her brother lost his life about 6 years ago, hit by a driver that didn't even stop. And, here we are 6 years later, and they still haven't found his killer. And so things like this are happening every day. We lose a motorcycle rider on our roadway, and it's just tragic.
Yeah, I know a question that I got in on one of my Ask 2 segments that I get every week. I'll be answering it this week, but they ask, is it legal for motorcycles to dip in and out of lanes? And I know that's a tough one because at times motorcycles can be merging like cars can, so that can be very confusing because of the distance.
Yes. Well, I mean, everybody has to follow the same rules. We have to use our blinkers. We have to let people know that we're moving. When it comes to motorcycle riders, though, when they downshift, they're not showing brake lights. And so that could be, something misleading for the drivers behind, which is why we say they need to give a lot of space. They don't have anything around them. And, there's no metal around them. They don't have seat belts. They don't have airbags, which, as we know, is our best line of protection in a vehicle.
Yeah. Are we seeing a lot of these crashes? Are they dealing with younger motorcycle operators, or is it just a variety?
Well, it is a variety. A lot of them, it's caused by the other driver not paying attention. And so when it comes to the ages, it is definitely a variety. But our younger generation, they're out there, they're doing wheelies, they're doing all kinds of tricks on the road that they're speeding through, and it's making it much more dangerous for not only them but the people around them.
And if people want to learn more just about motorcycle safety or safety on the roads in general, where can we point them to?
The Texas Department of Transportation has the Share the Road, Look Twice for Motorcycle campaign on their website. There are a lot of tips on there, a lot of even printed materials. If you want to, we encourage you to share the road materials on your Facebook, on your social media, just to kind of encourage other people to pay attention and understand that these tragedies, again, can be avoided.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming in today, Katie.
You're welcome.
As always, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.